Hey everyone, welcome to episode 359 of the All Dolphins podcast on Saturday, September 14th, 2024. Pleased to be joined once again by the former co-host of the All Dolphins podcast, now Miami Herald columnist and podcaster, Omar Kelly. Omar, how are you, bud?
I'm good. How are you? Better than
Uh,
a lot of people.
yeah. Do you still see a
Better
lot?
than Dolphin fans. Well, actually, no, I can't say that because their struggles leads to our struggles.
Yeah, I think we can brush off. I had a fan this morning like asked me, I'm ready to call off this team, talk me off the ledge. And I'm like, okay, it's one game, they're 1-1.
And how did you answer? Yeah, how did you answer that
I haven't
question?
answered yet.
Oh, how would you answer that
Well,
question?
this actually, you know what? This is why this episode is looking for bright spots. So, where should we start? Then it's going to be a very quick episode, and then we'll just.
Oh wow! How do you know? Listen,
I kid. This is still a good.
Let me start with what I have to offer.
Go ahead.
I think both you and I will admit that even though Skyler is not on the same level as Tua Tagovailoa, he does have a little bit of Matt Moore in him. And you won't give him that?
Oh,
gunslinger, come on.
But in terms of style, yeah, I'll give you that. That's actually. I will give you that's a good analogy. My hesitation is because I really like Matt Moore as a quarterback, and I'm not there with Skyler yet.
I come 100% agree with you. I really liked Matt Moore. I would make the argument to you that Matt Moore would have taken the team further than Ryan Tannehill if you were ever entrusted with the opportunity to become the starter. He showed you that in the games that he took over for Tannehill, in the seasons that he took over. But no coach ever trusted him because he just was a gunslinger and did what he wanted to do. Now, I don't think Skyler is that kind of quarterback to that level, but I do believe that Skyler has an aggressive approach that might benefit them. Now, does he have the accuracy, deep ball accuracy that Tua Tagovailoa has? No. Does he have the mastery of the offense that Tua Tagovailoa has? No. Does he have the accuracy, the pocket presence that Tua Tagovailoa has? No. But he does have the ability to improvise and make things happen and sort of play scramble ball football, which could benefit certain playmakers like Tyreek and Waddle and Jonnu. Now, but losing Tua is tough, but they've got so many other issues that I have more of a fundamental problem with than just, oh God, our starting quarterback is done. I've got questions and concerns about both of the trenches, on both of the sides of the trenches, the offensive and the defensive line. When Calais Campbell comes off that field, they aren't good. They're not good at all. And then moving forward without Teron Armstead, how do you do that? I don't know. Yes, Kendall Lamb has filled in before. He's done a good job. Is Patrick Paul ready? I don't know. Robert Jones.
You want him to be ready though, because you asked Mike McDaniel yesterday, and you were like, "Why the hell didn't you put Patrick Paul in there instead?"
Yeah, bad Mike. And I understood his answer. His answer was basically, we don't want to know Igbenogany him, which is put him out there in a pressure-filled situation, have him struggle, have him lose his confidence.
Hold on. It was 24-10. When it was 24-10 when Teron left the game the first time, came back after a few plays, and then it got to be 31-10. Is it really a quote unquote major pressure situation that's down 31-10?
Oh yeah, yes it is, because Buffalo's going to have their ears pinned back. They're already beating you up in the trenches. You're playing with a rookie quarterback, so it's not rookie, but an inexperienced quarterback. Mm-hmm. So it's not and I looked at it as, if maybe Patrick Paul had spent all week with the starters, knew the game plan, not that they had a full week of practice, maybe he would have been presented more of an opportunity, which is why I think even moving forward, if Teron's going to miss games, Patrick Paul spent a whole week with the first team. And no, you still riding Kendall Lamb?
Oh, absolutely. And I think, to me, the odds of, before the season started, I was like, Patrick Paul in an ideal scenario never sees the field on offense. they've used him on special teams.
No. Based on the way that he played all exhibition season, a strong training camp, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Patrick Paul. Way more upside. Kendall Lamb is retiring. Invest in the rookie. He's going to be the replacement next year. We can't do this anymore with Teron. Love Teron to death. Love him. Absolutely love him and everything he represents. But we bubble wrapped you all off season. Literally, you practice once a week. You get out there, you play 1.5 games before you're hurt.
No, but here's my thing. To me, again, this is what this season still has goals that can be achieved.
Yeah.
And number one, the big overriding issue of all, we don't know exactly how long Tua is going to be out. That's the number one. Okay. Number two.
Let's say 6 games.
Okay. And then in those 6 games, and Tennessee, if you saw the way they looked in their opener against Chicago, that was booty cheeks. And they don't have Derrick Henry anymore. Mm-hmm. Then it's at New England.
Yep.
Then it's at the Colts, which is going to be tough. And then it's Arizona at home, the following one. Okay, before you get Buffalo again. It's not like the Dolphins are going to go 0-6 automatically.
Yes. Okay. I'm not saying that the season is lost. I don't know. Hell, when Brock Purdy took over for Trey Lance, nobody expected them to take off like they did. And I'm not comparing. Yeah, I am comparing Skyler to Trey Lance, who was selected ahead of.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but the bigger issue here, Omar, is not Skyler versus Purdy, is because it's the overall Dolphins team and the overall 49ers team. And the overall 49ers team, I think we can agree, is better constructed.
They're constructed very similarly, but I would not argue against what you're saying. They are constructed similarly, but they're a better team. So they have more physicality where it matters, and that's my biggest issue with this Dolphins team. Outside of now, they're going to have to play without their quarterback. I really want to know what happened to, like, why were you not attacking Buffalo's cornerbacks and secondary? Like, I obviously we were so submerged in Tua questions and, will Tua ever play again? Focus, and Mike telling people, hey, stop asking that question.
He's right.
Yeah, I know he's right. You're making the problem worse. Like, stop. Like, let's. Did you catch the Guardian cap? Like, yes, I will encourage him to wear Guardian caps.
And by the way, can I interject here real quick? But because some folks on social media have asked this. Yes, we asked Tua about the Guardian cap during the preseason, and Tua was like, I want to know part of it.
Yeah, he also wanted no part of the special quarterback concussion helmet. So, but listen, he gets to make decisions about his life and his career. I shall allow it. I'm not a big believer in telling people what to do with their life and their career, unless they're my children, and they ignore me too. So
been there, done that.
Yeah. But yes. This is a panic point. As Mike McDaniel says, this is the time and opportunities where you have to rely on your leaders. You have to lean on your leaders. I do believe that this team has a good leadership core. Yes, Tua was at the forefront of that, but they still got so many other leaders. Hopefully, Raheem Mostert comes back. He's one of the leaders. Devon Achane showed you that he can handle this backfield and handle this running game. So we're fine there. The weapons got to step up for Skyler, and the offensive line has to step up for Skyler, and the coaching staff have to step up for Skyler, and they've got to create a favorable game plan that will give him opportunities. I'm seeing a lot of play action. I'm seeing a lot of rollout, and that's not their game. That's not how they've coached things so far. But you know what? You coach to the talent that you have, and that's who Skyler is as a quarterback. He is a Jake Plummer-esque quarterback. Let's make it roll. You're like, he's not.
I like the math more comparison better. Jake Plummer is a much better athlete. Jake Plummer is a very, very good athlete.
Yeah, you're right. Skyler is not that kind of athlete, but I think he's more of a play action kind of quarterback. Play action, roll the pocket, cut the field in half, either or throws. The one concern that I have, and I said this to Skyler, and I think he took like little offense to it after the game. The intricacies of their offense, where Tua is faking one way and turning another way, and like even when we watch practice, we only see Tua doing that. Like that's not Skyler. And and Skyler's like, yeah, I practice it, I do it. He probably doesn't get as many opportunities as Tua does, but Tua is very good at that stuff with the deception and delusion and the ball flake and the end rounds and you have no idea which way he's turning or he's going. That's part of their offense now. Skyler's got to figure out how to do that. And I just haven't seen it so far.
And that's not every QB who does it. And I think that to me, that's the most underrated part of Tua's game is his ball handling. He is borderline Steve DeBerg-like, and that's a massive compliment for those who are old enough to remember Steve DeBerg, because that dude could play fake like nobody's business. I think the biggest, or not the biggest, but one of the big issues for this game for me was just how, again, they played a really good team and they came up like so insanely short. Let's say they survived the next however long Tua was out, and they put a good record
in the moment.
Sorry?
They shrunk in the moment.
Well, that's not shrinking. It's just getting exposed for, again, being the same type of team that's going to do really well against mediocre.
I don't know if they got exposed because the 3 turnovers, and that's not Tua's game, but the 3 turnovers, oh, man, come on. How many games can we say, and you probably know this, how many games can we say Tua is responsible for 3 turnovers? Not many in his career.
Well, no, but and even at that one, we still don't know exactly, or maybe you got some clarity on that one, on the Robbie Chosen one, where that looks like a mix-up. The one on Dubose, to me, is
it still happens. It still counts as a turnover.
I understand that, but if Dubose turns around a little quicker, and this is where the Dolphins need to get dinged for having allowed their depth to get to this point.
What else could they? I had this conversation with Barry on Dolphins in Depth podcast. Give myself a plug.
You go for it.
Yesterday, and this is ridiculous. Okay, yes, we will agree that. Will we agree that wide receiver was the deepest position before we started training camp?
No.
No. What was deeper? Please tell me.
Safety.
Oh, please. Those. Anyway, sorry. Let me keep my comments to myself.
Whoa, dude. Safety with the caveat that Jordan Poyer is not the Jordan Poyer that we remember and love from his Buffalo days, which we knew was going to be the case because Tim Graham on this very podcast told us, remember, you're playing for Jordan Poyer's balls. Tight end was also a very deep position. But the thing at wide receiver is, again, as it turned out, and because we were estimating the wide receiver position counting OBJ. And then Chris Greer tells us after the fact, we knew all along he wasn't going to be ready for the start of the regular season, which brings up the question, why the hell did you sign him then?
I don't know if that's what he said.
No, what did he say?
He said we knew that there was a possibility.
Okay, sorry, I apologize for
that he might not be ready. Come on, think about it. They drafted 2 receivers. They waited that long, drafted 2 receivers, then signed him. Clearly, they knew there was an issue. It wasn't like, oh, man, we got to get OBJ. We got to get OBJ. We were the ones that were like, we got to get OBJ. Okay, they knew there's some issue there. And I'm not so hard on OBJ because he wanted to play. He wanted to not be put on PUP. They did the wise thing putting him on PUP, in my estimation. OBJ healthy is more important than rushing OBJ onto the field. And realistically, we're talking about a 3rd receiver, not like.
But you're the one talking about. But you're talking about depth right now.
Okay, River got injured. Okay, yeah. Put that to the side. River stepped up. Nobody expected him to step up to the levels they did. He got injured. Okay, what did this team do? They drafted 2 rookies. Both of them are injured. River got injured. Eric Uzukama didn't make his 53. They re-signed him to the practice squad. They went out and they claimed a young, talented receiver in Dubose. Then they added Robbie Chosen, who's the third most experienced receiver on the team right now. Like, and as you say whatever you want about Robbie. Robbie's a proven NFL wide receiver. So is he not? Okay, he's an aged, proven NFL wide receiver. Will you give me that?
Correct. Who's been with all due respect, has been a non-factor for 4 years.
Non-factor for 4 years? Okay. 1, this year's 2 games in. 2, last year he was on the practice squad on and off. The year before that, played for 2 different teams. Coach got fired. The other coach got fired, had to learn a new offense. That's 3 years. The year before that, he was a factor. Okay, stop with the Robbie Chosen hate.
Okay, 3.
Stop with the Robbie Chosen hate. I shall not. No Robbie Chosen slander shall
put some respect on that man's name.
Put some respect on that man's name. Listen, I am. Here's the thing, and it blows my mind that people don't realize this. This team, and you know this for a fact, is a practice team where if you do it in practice, they're going to elevate you. They're going to play you. Who's outperforming Robbie Chosen? Is Eric Uzukama outperforming Robbie Chosen? No.
Obviously not.
Like, is Braxton Barris outperforming Robbie Chosen? You know is no. You know the answer is no.
No, we don't know the answer is no, because we don't watch practice anymore. And Chosen wasn't here in camp, so
that's true. But like Braxton, okay, you need number 3 receiver. Braxton, where you at?
He's getting the snaps, and they're not targeting him. I think he had like maybe 1 target the other day.
How about you get open? That would lead to you being targeted. Yeah, I said it. Like,
yes, you did. So here's the thing: is it possible that Omar, hold on? Is it possible, 2 injury aside, that we're overreacting to one, as you would call it, booty cheeks performance at a time when it was called for the Dolphins to step up and put on the big boy pants and compete?
We're not overreacting, because this was the biggest game on their schedule. Their defensive coordinator said they circled it, and nobody showed up. Who showed up?
Devon Achane.
Okay. Well,
David Long Jr., Jordan Brooks.
I would even say Jonnu Smith.
David Long Jr., except for 1 bad play on the long touchdown run by James Cook.
Yeah, David Long. He's doing well. Okay. So you got what, 5 players out of a team of 47 on the field that showed up? It was
Liam was fine. But Aaron Brewer was fine.
Liam was fine. That's praise.
He was.
I know.
It wasn't the issue up front. The issue up front was we know who it was. Not a good night for Austin Jackson. Not a good night for Robert Jones. Teron got hurt. Where's the lie?
Not a good night for Kendall Lamb. Like it's not up to the standard. I am curious to see. I think the defense performed okay. Like, it wasn't like Josh Allen went off on them. Not that he had to. But I think they did a decent enough performance. I just would like to have seen, and obviously Josh is a very difficult quarterback to pressure. I would like to have seen a little bit more pressure, but you pick your poison. But they were 3 of 9 on 3rd downs.
247 total yards. That's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, I don't know. I think this is a great opportunity for the Dolphins to rally and show you who they are. Obviously, they do not have their starting quarterback and probably won't have him for an extended period of time. At the minimum, we're talking about three games. At the minimum. We
don't speculate on the All Dolphins podcast.
Like, when his head, and that's the thing, you know, when his head starts dribbling on dribbling, it's like, oh man, everybody saw it. I man, that press box when it happened, like, you could hear it wasn't even just the press box. You could, in the stadium, you could hear a pin drop. Like, you're like, all you heard was, and then silence. And everybody just knew. What I find troubling about where we are right now is that the best way that I could describe Mike McDaniel is frazzled. and
Yep.
and he's the leader, and he's got to inject confidence, belief into his team. And I was in the locker room after the game, and they were frazzled too. So you can't have a frazzled Dolphins team playing the Seattle Seahawks. And that's all I could tell you that we're going to present, because everybody's in this woe is me mentality. And it has to be the leaders that step up and say, I got this. It's got to be Jalen Ramsey. Hell, if he got to go play slot receiver, let's go. I got this. It's going to have to be the
Tyreek.
huh?
Tyreek.
Yeah. 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 I mean, Tyreek, Jalen, all those guys, they got to step up.
And this is where they have to compartmentalize your concern for your teammate and then taking care of business. And you can do both, but when you're at work, and this is where they have a mini bye. So again, for the whole weekend to be, frazzled, so to speak, or be, all about obviously the concern for Tua. Once again, game week starts, the concern for Tua clearly is still there, and you monitor his progress and the symptoms and all that. But you got to take care. You have also a business side to take care of. And again, they're playing the Seattle Seahawks. They're not playing the 49ers. And so to me, the suggestion that they can't win, I mean, they still have a lot of weapons on offense. And the defense, again, played well against Buffalo. This was not a game that, and I know there's a meme out there. There's the whole Josh Allen's the Dolphins daddy memes are out there again because they won, but he wasn't the reason they won. For one of the very rare times in the past 5 or 6 years, he was not the reason they won in the league.
Two rushing attempts, 2 yards, 139 yards. Might be his worst game ever against the Dolphins.
But he was efficient. The passer rating is 107.
107, yeah.
But he had one big boy throw, and that was it.
No, I think there were 2. There was which one are you counting? I'm counting the scrambling.
The scrambling play to Ty Johnson. There was a throw over the middle to Shakir where he zipped it between a couple of defenders. Was a pretty throw also.
That scrambling play to Ty Johnson was that was a big boy pass. And James Cook too. I'm at the point where I'm like, this guy must be a problem. This guy's a problem.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, dude can play.
Yeah. I just didn't expect them. I expected, because they were at the same point where the Dolphins are, where they're retooling. They had some cap issues. They had to purge their roster, and I didn't expect that because I think they're good. I thought they would take a step back. I thought Dolphins wide receivers would challenge.
The Bills are good. The newsflash: the Bills are good.
Yeah, no, I mean they lost a lot. Yeah. They lost a lot in that game.
They did.
They were on like the third middle linebacker, but they're still good.
But this is where, and I think we made this point before, they lost a lot of big names from their team last year. But how many of those guys were still studs? Like Tre'Davious White had injuries up to wazoo. Micah Hyde wasn't the same player. Jordan Poyer wasn't the same player. Even I'd make the argument Stephon Diggs on offense in the second half of last year didn't do a whole lot. And yes, he's a hell of a receiver. Didn't do a whole lot at the end of last year. Mitch Morse, their centers, at the end of his career. So in terms of name powers, man, how are they going to overcome those losses? Well,
yeah. But you know what it is? It's about, and I think that this is the difference between both of those franchises. They have young players ready to step up. Does this team have young players ready to step up?
Devon Achane.
I mean, the guy is the NFL leader in yards per carry, as a rookie. Did it as a rookie. So, okay, yeah, you're right. One. We got one.
Okay. But having said that, the Dolphins got humbled by what's still one of the best teams in the AFC, who they don't face again until week 8, and they don't face anybody of that caliber until
week 8?
Yeah, week 8 or week 9 because of the bye. But it's the 8th game.
That could be Tua's return.
Well, Yeah, you know what? If you look at his career resume, I think Tua is not going to want to play against the Bills. I mean,
No. Tua's going to want to play against the Bills. I can promise you right now, he's returning before the Bills.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
going.
Dr. Kelly.
Yeah, now that you say that, I'm like, yeah, Tua wants revenge. Tua's revenge.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, what Skyler has to do is
keep the ship afloat.
Again, if he can't get the job done to a respectable level, then why the hell is he on the roster? Okay, that would be my correct. The offense is not going to look the same.
You know, it's funny. I'm for the Miami Herald. I'm doing a piece on because the Dolphins are going to sign a quarterback. Obviously, we know it's going to be a lower level practice squad caliber guy because they're scared of their shadow. They don't want no QB competition. I don't even think they're going to bring Mike White back. Why would you not?
Tom Brady, go ahead.
No, I'm not Tom Brady. Let me address this Tom Brady thing.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go through first. Okay, go ahead.
Well, yeah. You just distracted me because I hate this Tom Brady thing, and I get it. He lives here. The Dolphins are not going to pay Tom Brady $30 million for this year. That's what he's making doing television, working 20 weeks a season. And people will say, Tom's a competitor. Is Tom a businessman? Yeah, he's a businessman. And his legacy right now, legacy and paycheck is so cemented. Why in the world would he ever come back to play football? And people say, he'll look at this roster and he'll say, I could win with that. And I say to myself, he'll look at a roster full of strangers with an offense that has nothing to do with anything he's ever run, that's completely different, decide that I'm going to come in the middle of the season and do it. Come on, people. Let's live in reality for a brief second. I'm going to take a pay cut to come play with some strangers in an offense that I don't know. Remember Tampa Bay? They were like, yeah, we're going to teach them our offense. And then by midseason, they're like, no, Tom, whatever you want to do, Tom. And they went on and won a Super Bowl. He's been in the same offense for 19 years of his career. People, you think Mike McDaniel is going to scrap everything he does and say, Tom, come on, baby, let's run your show. And everything they're going to do it in season? Come on, people, let's live in reality.
Okay, allow me to retort. And the one big factor here that's also involved is unless there's some indication that the Dolphins need an answer for a long time, maybe the rest of the season.
Yeah. Then
yes, Tom Brady would not step out of the Fox broadcast booth as a temporary replacement. That would not happen. The other factors that his contract, it's a 10-year contract. I think Tom Brady's doing financially well enough that he can sacrifice 1 year of that contract or even push it back. I think that would not be the determining factor.
That's what Jay Cutler said before he gave up his Fox contract to play for the Dolphins and never got it back.
But how long was his contract with Fox, though? I don't know if he had a 10-year contract.
He didn't have a 10-year contract.
Okay. So, and then I do want to throw out there before you go back to you were talking about initially was with your practice squad suggestion. Because you brought it out there on Twitter, I'm going to mention it, that you threw it out there, Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, I brought it out there in story. I didn't Twitter it.
You were in the story?
I storied it. I columned it.
Okay.
And I think it's, I'm sorry. I know he's coaching his high school, and I hate the Bulls. So, they lost.
That's why you want him to leave, because
they lost to Norland, by the way. So
I know, but they kicked Terrell City's ass. That's why you want him.
No. I have a respect for Teddy.
Yeah,
I think Teddy's a very efficient quarterback. I think he could run that offense. I think he could keep the ship afloat. I answered this question and answer it honestly. Is Teddy Bridgewater better than Skyler Thompson?
Without question, but it's also not happening because the Dolphins wouldn't go there because Bridgewater is also very, very injury prone. And this is what this 1 year as a backup for the Dolphins that's what it was.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're not going back there, but it's an intriguing idea, which I'm sure is going to make some Dolphin fans' heads go.
Yeah. I mean, I still say don't rule it out. He's here.
Yeah.
Yes, somebody's going to have to coach his Northwestern Bulls for the span of games that he's sidelined. If you're trying to get Tom Brady out of the coaching booth, out of the broadcasting booth, why wouldn't you get Teddy Bridgewater out? He knows the offense. He's better than the quarterback that you're going to be starting. Okay, he's injury prone. All right, who isn't injury prone on your quarterback room?
No, that's a good point. But if that's the case, then again, why was Skyler your backup in the first place? So
I listen. I wish the best for Skyler. We'll see. I like Skyler. I don't think he's at the level of Matt Moore, but I'm curious, and if this coach is a quarterback maker, like people think and portray him to be, then isn't Skyler supposed to be the next one? He's a quarterback maker.
Okay, go back to your previous point of like who do you suspect would be the addition? You said wouldn't be Mike White.
You know what? Humble yourself, Mike White. No, I want it to be Mike White. Even though it's not going to get you anywhere, I do want it to be Mike White. But I would prefer it to be PJ Walker. And here's why I say that. I like the scrambling ability. I think he's a good play action quarterback. I think you can give you good looks on the scout team if he's here. And in a pinch, if Skyler's not performing, like to me, it's not Tim Boyle. Okay,
No, I agree.
Like Tim Boyle was the worst quarterback that we saw last year. We will acknowledge that, correct? All right. No, and I haven't seen him throw one pass in practice, but I'm not a believer. We at this point, why not go the route of going with the quarterback with the most upside? And to me, that's PJ Walker. And you got your eye on somebody out there on the street? You a Tannehill guy?
No.
Yeah, I'm not even doing Tannehill. Nah.
No, I think Mike White is the logical choice. And you talk about humbling himself, sure, except the paycheck he's going to get on the active roster is a pretty nice compensation for getting humbled compared to what he's getting on the practice squad.
And what's supposed Buffalo says, hey, Mike, we'll match. What's supposed Buffalo doesn't allow the claim.
They can't fight unless they sign him to the 53.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, you think it's going to be? You think that Mike White's going to join the practice squad? I'm pretty sure.
No. You can't go practice squad to practice squad. I'm saying.
Yes, you can.
But
you can. You absolutely can. You could sign. You're a free agent if you're on the practice squad. A team could sign you to their practice squad for more money. Absolutely. I know that. Know that for a fact. You can absolutely go from practice squad to practice squad.
I'll research it right now. I'm drawing a blank. I'll research it. But no. I'm thinking for the 53.
Yeah. I was thinking for the 53 too, but Buffalo can block it by putting him on their 53.
Correct.
And if I'm Buffalo, I'm trying to put the death nail in the Dolphins season right now. Already knocked out their quarterback and gave them a humbling loss that makes them search their soul. So I would not allow them to claim Mike White.
No, and again, and this goes back to where we're talking about all these contingency plans. The number one thing that needs to happen is trying to get some sort. And Mike McDaniel doesn't want to hear about it, but for the Dolphins to make a plan, is they kind of have to get an idea of how long they're going to be without Tua.
Yeah, 6 weeks is my over under.
6 weeks. Okay. Okay.
That
changes because another name out there, again, if it was going to be longer term, is I'm not sure I don't make a phone call to the Rams and ask about Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's suspended for the first 4 games of the season.
I read too. Somebody else told me it was 4. Am my information incorrect here?
I don't know. I know he's suspended. But I'm not trading picks for Jimmy Garoppolo. And let's And I'm a Jimmy Garoppolo fan, but let's be real about it. Like, is Jimmy Garoppolo keeping this season afloat? Is Jimmy Garoppolo? I don't want to do.
Yes.
I don't want to do. Okay, I don't disagree with you, but remember he was struggling in with the Raiders before he got benched.
Struggling with the 49ers though, under Mike McDaniel.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I will say this: what I don't want to do is I don't want to do Jay Cutler, which is spend resources and money on somebody that'll just get me to 7 and 10.
Agreed.
Like, if we're gonna do 7 and 10, let's do it with Matt Moore. Hell, with Matt Moore. I know it will happen. I know it will happen.
Is he back in Southern California?
It probably hasn't thrown the football in 3 years, but I promise you, he probably might be better if he knew this offense and if he was part of this tree. Yeah. Then I'd say absolutely do it. But yeah.
And again, this go back to contingency, and to me, yeah, the Jimmy G idea is only if we're looking at a worst case scenario with Tua. As a placeholder, no, I wouldn't give up assets as a placeholder. And again, if the Dolphins can't win games with Skyler at quarterback, then they have built their roster wrong.
We know that already, though. Let's be real.
We know they haven't built
their roster properly
as ideally as we would have liked.
Yeah, come on. Let's be. I'm looking up a quarterback right now. Both of you and I said that they should be. What's that Tennessee quarterback named Hendon?
Hendon Hooker, who's now the backup in Detroit. They're not trading him.
I know. Detroit has another. Oh, it's Fromm, and you keep telling me Fromm is garbage. Nobody's going to bail you out and give you a quarterback. It's just not going to happen.
People are talking about Carson Wentz, Mac Jones, or whatever. Okay, well, to tell you that, does anybody ask the Chiefs and Jaguars if they're going to be willing to trade them? And again, you're not trading for somebody as a placeholder.
Mac Jones,
yeah.
Mac Jones.
You remember the one Tom Curran said was better than Tua on this very podcast last year? That's Mac Jones, yes.
Mac Jones ain't going to do nothing for this team.
No. And again, to me, you're not trading assets for somebody who would be a placeholder. So, again, the big thing right now is basically it's monitoring to us, see how he progresses in his recovery and the symptoms and all that. And in the meantime,
we won't have an answer about that for the next 2 weeks. So, better get a 2-week plan.
Possibly. And the 2-week plan sounds like it's Skyler. There is nobody who's available without having to make a trade in terms of quarterbacks. The one established guy is Ryan Tannehill. That's it.
I would love for them to get Dobbs, but I know that's not happening. He's a backup in the 49ers, right?
Yeah, he's the third stringer with the 49ers, I believe. Or is he the
third string?
Yes, I believe he's the third stringer. Of course, now you're going to ask me who's the second one. I'm going to have to pull up my 49ers roster here. Talk, say something so I can look it up.
I'm pulling up my 49ers roster too. But, Dobbs, man. You know what? I'm going to write that. Thank you. You inspired me. If he's a number 3, give me that number 3. I have been such a fan of that young man.
You have to make a trade.
Okay. I'll give you a 7th-round pick.
No, I know. And you were all about him after he got off to a really good start last year with Minnesota.
I've been all about him since he was coming out in the draft process. I just don't understand why his career has gone the way that it has.
Brandon Allen's the quarterback. Sorry.
And he's the number 2 or number 3?
I believe Brandon Allen's the number 2. In fact, I got there.
Yes, he's the number 2. All right, I'm writing it. Let's go, Joshua Dobbs.
There you go, Joshua Dobbs. But again, you have to trade assets. So
7th-round pick. Who cares? You act like Dolphins do great things with 7th-round picks.
Okay, but then I love how we always do those hypothetical trades. Can we talk to the 49ers, see if they'll be on board with a 7th-round pick to give up the comfort of having a third quarterback, which they obviously felt important.
It's my buddy. We wash towels together. Yeah. Come on.
Okay. Okay, I think that's going to wrap it up.
Prom together.
Damn. Any parting words, Omar Kelly?
Always good to talk to you. Hope the family is well. Hope all Dolphins is doing well. You know you still fam.
Oh, appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, man.
It wasn't. I was.
Yeah, I really thought you were going to take a victory lap on. See, this is why you didn't sign to it. This is why you shouldn't have signed to it. No, I'm proud of you.
I literally had somebody tell me in the comments after an episode this week, I'm going to have to unsubscribe because it's going to be a whole week of I told you so. And I'm thinking, is that what you think of me? And I'm like, yeah, obviously it is. But no, I mean,
I mean, you told us so. You did. Let's be real about it. Like this is the worst, and this is what I wrote after the game. This is literally the worst case scenario. Like the only thing that could have happened worse on Thursday night was somebody dropped dead. Like there's, I mean, it has happened.
No.
It
was somebody made the point, and it's a great way to close out. And by the way, you're fam too, but always appreciate you. And it always makes me crack me up that after you departed for the Herald, and you like were joking on Twitter and like, man, they're fighting and all that. Like,
I like that. I need people to think we fight. We do fight. Let's get that on the record. We do fight like cat. We do the rock'em sock'em all day long. That's what we do. We've done that for years, which is why we work well together. So
no, the point I was going to make is like, and this is a bad note on which to end, but such as life. I mean, that if you want to talk about bad, depressing nights, losses, days for the Dolphins, I mean, you'd have to go think pretty hard about a worse on every level, and the way they got spanked by the Bills, the team you're chasing, and then Tua going down. I mean,
yeah. You've been doing this much longer than me, and no more, nothing worse. Yeah,
it's rough.
No, yeah.
So the good news, I'm going to say the positive news, and on a good note, is after the game against Buffalo, the only direction is up.
You hope.
Well,
let's hope Skyler doesn't look like booty cheeks against Seattle, and then you're just like hitting the panic button, like panic. Jimmy Garoppolo, come on down, like save us, please. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, except now the expectations have been lowered. Now, part of what made everything so disappointing Thursday night is because there was hype, hope, optimism. No, this is a year we're overtaking.
This was the year, and then they got pimp slapped.
Yep.
So.
All righty. So, Omar, as always, much appreciated. Follow his work on MiamiHerald.com, on the podcast with Barry and Isaiah Smalls.
Dolphins in depth, folks.
Dolphins in depth. And you see, obviously, the Twitter handle is at Omar Kelly. You can find my work at Miami Dolphins on SI.com and the All Dolphins podcast. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Reminder, we have a live show Sunday night, 8 p.m. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Appreciate you.